guys, my name is Jasmine and I am your small town Grey Witch. I'm here to talk to you about the history of occultism and tarot. So, just so you're aware, I have taken multiple classes on tarot. I have gotten several professional working hours when it comes to my studying. I have done public tarot readings for charity, never by, at least not yet, by money. So it was always give to charity, donations for charity. I have done public readings though. I have studied. I've taken classes in person and online. This is what I just showed you was the diploma for 150 professional hours of development that I did just within the year. And I have done actual groups. I attended groups where we've discussed card meetings and so on and so forth. So I feel like I am very in tuned to be able to actually try to explain this to you guys and what tarot is, the history of tarot, and so on and so forth. All right? All right. Just so you know some of my credentials. I'm not talking out of my butt, in other words. So, tarot and the occult. So, I like to say so, apparently. We're going to start with something that we already discussed in the previous video. Tarot history, or the beginnings of tarot. And we're going to discuss a certain dude. And his name, I'm going to murder all names. Excuse me, I'm going to murder all names. Was Anton Court de Gablin. He was a Swiss clergyman. And in 1781, so quite some time back, he published Le Monde Primitif. Now, this was a study of the religious symbols within occultism, within the modern world today, within everything. So he was like, there's religious symbols throughout the world that we use, and he wrote a whole book on it. Now, a part of his book was about tarot. And he said that the word tarot derived from the Egyptian words ter and ro, which meant royal road. Royal road. And he claimed that the tarot meant royal road to wisdom. Now, Egyptian studies and Egyptian people who's Egyptianologists. Could not think of the word Egyptianologist, had to peek down and find that word. Actually said that there's really no foundation, this is all just circumstance. There's nothing that we can find that actually links the tarot and the word tarot to the Egyptian words. So, that was kind of fluked. Alright? But it did open the door for anything else that could be attached to the tarot. Because again, we're starting to see more and more decks come up. We're starting to see people actually use this as a religious divination symbol. Well, for a while, actually. Alright, so from him, because of him, he kind of opened the door. So, in the 19th and 20th centuries, in the 19th especially, there was kind of like a bohemian explorational liberation kind of sorteth when it came to the tarot. So now we jumped quite a bit, and we're going to go right into the occult concepts of this. So, in the 19th century, French occultist Eliphas Levi cemented the link between the tarot and the Kabbalah. So I'm actually going to bring up the tarot and the Kabbalah, or at least what is actually thought to be the tree of life. So in the Kabbalah, it describes the tree of life. Now, in the tree of life, there are these, I forget what they're 100% called because they're fun. the Sephiroth. All right. So each one of these circles that you're seeing on my screen is a Sephiroth. Now, each Sephiroth has a actual like meaning towards it. So the crown, understanding, wisdom. I know on my screen it's kind of hard to see. Mercy, serenity, beauty, splendor, victory, foundation, and kingdom. So the Sephiroth are the major parts of this. And he said, through the major arcana's journey, you can reach each one of the Sephiroth and obtain them. So as you can see kind of the cards laying on the lines. That would be a path. So throughout the major arcana, we're going to talk about the Fool's Journey, where the Fool, who is like newbie, it's not like idiot, it's like somebody who lacks knowledge or lacks understanding, lacks ability, journeys throughout each major arcana card to pretty much complete the world and get full vast knowledge and obtain gnosis, which is like a hidden knowledge. So the Fool does travel through the journey. We are going to talk about the Fool's Journey in a different video, but it does get extensive, so we're going to do that in a different video. The point I'm bringing up here is that he's cemented by adding each one of the journey cards to one of the 22 lines of the Kabbalah. So to go from the top here, crown, to wisdom, you have to travel through the Fool. So in other words, you gotta travel the Fool's Journey and get the wisdom. I know that sounds really kind of weird, but from the crown to understanding, you have to become the magician. So you have to get your tools and learn that you are the ultimate tool to get that understanding. Alright? So each one of these has a major arcana card that goes with this. Alright? So I just wanted to point that out to you. I thought this was really, really interesting. And this goes into deep concepts of the tarot cards. This is not beginner level. If you really want to study the Kabbalah and the tarot and what it means to the Judeo-Christian belief systems, this is a great like deep dive where you're really trying to understand which card goes to which actual like Sephiroth or major gaining. Alright? So there's 22 paths, and he connected the 22 major arcana to the 22 paths. He also, there was a connection later on that each major arcana card and each path also connected to the 22 major letters of the Hebrew alphabet. So each card got a letter, each path got a card. So it kind of like connects it completely. There's also connections between the Egyptian alphabet, the German alphabet. Oh my god, it connected to so many different religions, faiths, so on and so forth. It is absolutely crazy. But if you look at most religions and faiths, they kind of have this concept, the same stories. I mean, the flood story is in pretty much all religions. So religions tend to mirror each other. So if you think about it that way, it's really not surprising. But the fact that people from thousands of miles away mirror each other is surprising. So it's really, really interesting how humanity works with our religions and concepts and faiths and everything else. So now let's work on the next person that I really want to talk about. And I'm going to leave this up so you guys can kind of like peek at it. I know it's kind of like a smaller picture of it, but if I try to stretch it out on my screen anymore, you get like parts or sections of it. It just doesn't really work that much. Alright, So, another name I'm going to murder. Or I shouldn't say murder. I'm going to like really be bad at saying it on YouTube. So another name I'm going to really mess up is Gerald and Koss. And I think I actually did really pretty decent on this one, but it's Gerald. Gerald. Gerard and Koss. He was a French physician, and he was known in his writings and stuff like that as Papus. 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 So if you find books by Papus, this is the guy. Alright? Alright. He published The Tarot of the Bohemians in 1889. So why was this book so awesome? So why if he published a thing? I mean, so many people are publishing the things. So what what he stated was the tarot was using the world's oldest book and key to the hidden sciences, because tarot was the book of Hermes with hidden symbolism. So he said tarot is actually the oldest book. The tarot cards are the representation of the oldest book of the world. And that is the book of Hermes. Because of the symbolism that is done in the tarot. So again, that's pretty massive. Another connection to Hermes, the messenger god. Yeah, so much more than that, but still. Because of all the symbolism in tarot and the way that the paths work, it actually created that connection. Now, I do want to point out something, is that what you're seeing now on the screen connects the major arcana of a deck that is well known, but it actually during this time wasn't created. So, what you're looking at is the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It looks like this. It has all the different things. So these are the cards that we kind of know. The Fool, for instance. So this deck wasn't created yet. So I'm showing you imagery that for this time wasn't there. So what you're seeing up on the screen with the Tree of Life and the Kabbalah, that wasn't there yet. So they had different cards and different things. Don't get me wrong, the Trump cards were there. It's just not this artwork. It wasn't this artwork. Alright? That wasn't established yet. I'm just using imagery that you can kind of know. So when he talked about this, he wasn't talking about the artwork of that we know of. He was talking about different decks. So he looked at the vast array of decks. And then that's what he went off. It wasn't this deck specifically. We know the symbolism of that deck, but that wasn't there yet. So you could see the different symbolism and different meanings to the cards, and he related it to the oldest book. And that kind of blew occultists' mind, because they were like, wow, it really is like the book of the people, the oldest book. That's amazing. So it just gave another concept. Now, I do want to point out that the church during all these times, like even in my past, they didn't see tarot necessarily as massively divination until the occult happened. Until it was actually deemed into the occult. So, before it was just, don't use tarot, don't use playing cards, don't use dice, don't gamble. It's all a chance of will, or like it's just a game of chance. You're gambling, don't do it. So they didn't actually hate tarot until it started moving into the occult section. Alright? That's when it started to transform in the Catholic religions as bad. So it really was, well, it was bad like drinking was bad. It was bad like gambling was bad before the occult era. But it wasn't really bad in the church via the divination aspects. It was just luck of chance. It was the placebo pill, in a sense. All right, so you were gambling. I really want to stress that because I thought that was so interesting that the church didn't see it as the divination tool that we see today until occultism kind of swept it. All right? All right. So, I'm going to leave this as it is. I just wanted to go a little bit more into the connections that they were making at that time. We are going to go into the two major decks that were actually given out and created by members of the Golden Dawn and who the Golden Dawn were in the next videos, but that gets super extensive. Like, I have pages of notes with that one. So I want to make the Golden Dawn its own video with the two major decks that it was created. The Rider-Waite-Smith deck and the Thoth deck. So I really, really, really want to put those as separate videos. So this is just a little taste of what was coming out in that time. All right? So I'm hoping that you guys liked the occult video. I think the whole factor of the Tree of Life and how much you could study into it is amazing. But this is just a little taste of that. Other than that, if you want more to learn more about the tarot deck, I'm super happy to show you guys. I'm super happy to share this with you. But let me know what your thoughts are. If you like it and you want to learn more, hit that like button. If you have questions on this, if you want me to answer a few more details or this, that, or the other thing, put a comment down in the section. I have no problem explaining things a little bit more if you need it. And follow if you want to hear all the other videos. Alright? So, have a great day. Pick up a tarot card deck and just start looking at some of the imagery. Look at all the different types you can get. Alright? Go study. And most of all, go do magic. Bye, guys.